Welcome to Relaxing History. Leave all the noise and the rush of the day outside the door. Now, take a deep breath. Relax your shoulders and let your mind float through the dusty but fascinating pages of history. Tonight, we embark on a peaceful journey among the shadows of the past. If you are ready, let's unlock time.
Chapter 1 of 3, The Blue Gate and the Heat of Babylon. Tonight, we are traveling further back in time than we have ever gone before. We are going to the cradle of civilization, to the land between the two rivers, Mesopotamia. The year is 323 BC. It is the height of summer. The sun is a fierce, white disk in the sky. It beats down on the clay earth, baking the bricks, heating the sand. We are approaching the greatest city on earth, Babylon. From miles away, you can see it shimmering in the heat haze. Massive walls rising out of the desert dust. The great ziggurat, the Etemenanki, piercing the sky like a stairway to the heavens. Walking towards the city walls is a man. He is young, only 32 years old, but his eyes hold the weight of 1,000 years. He is Alexander, the king of Macedonia, the pharaoh of Egypt, the lord of Asia. He has marched his army from the snowy mountains of Greece, across the sands of Egypt, through the high passes of Persia, all the way to the jungles of India. And now he has returned. He is tired. It is a deep, bone-weary exhaustion, the kind of tired that comes from conquering the known world. He is not wearing his heavy armor today. No bronze breastplate, no helmet with the lion crest. He is wearing a simple tunic of white linen. A chiton is less than #0. 5 is greater than. It is light and airy. But even the linen feels heavy in this heat. The air is thick. It tastes of dust and dry palm leaves. He approaches the main entrance of the city, the Ishtar Gate. It is a miracle of color in a brown world. Thousands of glazed bricks, a deep, vibrant blue, like the night sky or the waters of the deep ocean. Lapis lazuli, blue. Alexander stops for a moment to look at it. The blue coolness of the gate is a relief to his eyes after the blinding yellow of the desert. He runs his hand along the wall. The bricks are smooth like glass. They are cool to the touch. On the blue walls, there are animals depicted in gold and white relief. Lions, bulls, and the Mushusu, the dragons of Babylon. They march in lines along the walls, silent guardians. Alexander nods to the lions. He feels a kinship with them. He is the lion of Macedon. But tonight, the lion wants to sleep. He walks through the massive archway, step to step to step. His sandals slap softly against the stone pavement of the processional way. The walls are high here, casting a long, welcome shadow. The noise of the city begins to surround him. Babylon is a city of 1,000,000 souls, merchants shouting in Aramaic, soldiers speaking Greek, priests chanting in Akkadian. The smell of spices is less than #0. 5 hash is greater than roasted meat, and camel musk fills the air. But Alexander does not stop. He does not turn to the marketplace. He does not turn to the temples. He keeps walking towards the north, towards the river, towards the Euphrates. He can smell the water before he sees it, a fresh, muddy, sweet scent. It cuts through the dust, and rising above the river banks, he sees it, the wonder, the hanging gardens. It looks like a green mountain that has been built by human hands, terrace upon terrace of stone, rising up into the sky. Each level is overflowing with plants, trees from Persia, flowers from the mountains, vines from the jungle. It is an explosion of life in the middle of the arid city. Alexander pauses. He can hear the sound of the machines, the great water wheels, the noria. They are turning slowly, lifting the water from the Euphrates River up, up, to the very top of the gardens. Creak, splash, creak, splash. The sound is rhythmic, hypnotic. It is the heartbeat of the garden. He walks towards the entrance of the gardens. The heat of the plain is behind him. He steps under the first great archway of the structure. The shade falls over him. The temperature drops instantly. It is 10 degrees cooler here. He takes a deep breath. In, out. The air is moist, humid, rich with oxygen. It smells of wet stone and crushed green leaves. He loosens the sash around his waist. He shakes the dust from his hair. He has left the empire at the gate. He has left the army at the camp. Here, he is just a man looking for shade. He begins to climb the stairs, wide stone steps, flanked by tall cypress trees. Step, step. He is ascending the man-made mountain, leaving the earth behind, climbing towards the clouds. Chapter 2 of 3, The Chain of Water and the Scent of Jasmine. Alexander continues his ascent. Step, step, step. The stone stairs are wide and shallow, designed for kings, not soldiers. With every step he takes, the city of Babylon feels further away. The dust of the streets is replaced by the soft, dark soil of the planters. The smell of the camels is replaced by the smell of wet moss. He reaches the first great terrace. Here, the sunlight is filtered. Above him, the branches of massive trees interlock, creating a living roof. These are not the sparse palm trees of the desert. These are broad-leafed giants, trees brought from the mountains of Persia, trees brought from the far hills of Media. Their leaves are thick and green. They drink the sunlight and cast a deep, cool shadow on the stones below. Alexander walks into the shade. The temperature drops again. It feels like walking into a cave made of emeralds. He walks to the edge of the terrace. He listens. There is a sound here, a sound that does not belong in the desert. It is the sound of heavy water moving. Creak, splash, gurgle. He approaches the source of the sound, the great water engine. The hanging gardens are not just a garden, they are a machine, a masterpiece of hydraulics. Alexander watches the mechanism. It is a massive wooden wheel, or rather, a continuous chain of buckets. He watches the wood turn. It is dark, soaked timber, slick with algae. The chain moves slowly. Clank, clank. Each bucket rises from the deep wells below, filled to the brim with the silvery water of the Euphrates. As it reaches the top, it tips over. Sploosh. The water pours out into a stone channel, and then the empty bucket descends again into the dark. To fetch more. Alexander stands mesmerized by the rhythm. It is continuous, unending. Day and night, the wheel turns, feeding the thirsty trees. He watches the water flowing into the channel. It is clear and cold. It rushes along a small aqueduct carved into the floor. He follows the stream with his eyes. It splits into smaller channels, then smaller ones, like the veins in a human body, spreading life to every corner of the structure. He dips his hand into the flowing water. Splash. It is shockingly cold. He splashes some onto his face. The water runs down his neck, soaking into the collar of his linen tunic. It sends a shiver down his spine, a good shiver. The heat of the armor, the heat of the helmet, the heat of the battles, it all washes away in the Euphrates water. He continues to walk along the terrace, deeper into the greenery. The engineering here is miraculous. Alexander is a student of Aristotle. He appreciates how things work. He looks at the floor of the planter beds. He knows what lies beneath the soil. Huge beams of stone, covered with a layer of reeds and bitumen tar, and then a layer of thick lead sheets. The lead stops the moisture from leaking down and rotting the foundations. It keeps the water where it needs to be. It is solid, heavy, permanent. He brushes past a bush of white flowers. Jasmine. The scent hits him instantly. It is sweet, heavy, intoxicating. It hangs in the humid air like a perfume. Alexander closes his eyes and breathes it in. In, out. It smells of luxury. It smells of peace. It reminds him of the nights in Persepolis, but without the politics, without the courtiers. He moves past a pomegranate tree. The fruit is ripening. Large, red globes hanging heavy on the branches. They look like jewels, rubies suspended in the green dark. He touches the skin of a pomegranate. It is smooth and leathery. He does not pick it. He just appreciates its weight. The abundance here is overwhelming. Figs bursting with sweetness, grapes hanging in purple clusters, and the gentle sound of insects buzzing lazily around the fruit. is less than #0. 5# is greater than biz. He walks towards a stone bench carved into the wall. The wall itself is wet. Water is trickling down the masonry. Deliberately, this is evaporative cooling. As the water flows down the hot stone, it evaporates into the dry desert air. And as it turns to vapor, it absorbs the heat, creating a pocket of cold air, a natural air conditioning. Alexander sits on the stone bench. The stone is damp, cool against his legs. He leans his head back against the wall. He feels the mist on his skin, tiny droplets of water floating in the air. They settle on his eyelashes, on his forehead, on his arms. It feels like a gentle rain, a rain that never ends. He looks out through a gap in the foliage. Far, far below, he can see the brown dust of the city. He can see the tiny figures of people walking in the sun, but they belong to a different world. Up here, there is only green and blue and the sound of falling water. He hears a peacock call from a higher terrace. Ka'ah. It is a lonely, exotic sound. He watches a dragonfly hover over a lily pond nearby. Its wings are iridescent, shimmering blue and green. It darts left, then right, then hovers perfectly still. Alexander envies the dragonfly, its ability to just be. He closes his eyes again, listening to the layers of sound, the deep clank creak of the water wheel far below, the medium rush of the water in the channels, the high drip drip of the condensation falling from the leaves. It is a symphony of liquid. The humidity softens his skin. It softens his breathing. The dry, scratching dust of the desert is gone from his throat. His lungs fill with the moist, jasmine-scented air. He feels his shoulders drop. The knot of tension in his neck begins to loosen. He is no longer the conqueror. He is a guest of the garden. He runs his hand over the moss growing on the bench. It is soft like velvet. He traces the patterns. He feels safe here. The walls are high. The guards are far below. No one can reach him here. Only the water and the mist. He stays there for a long time, just breathing, just feeling the coolness seeping into his bones, preparing his body for rest. The garden is holding him, wrapping him in leaves and fog, hiding him from the sun. He is ready to find the final resting place, the highest terrace, where the wind is gentle and the sleep is deep. Chapter 3 of 3, The Purple Couch and the River of Stars. Alexander takes the final step. He has reached the summit, the highest terrace of the Hanging Gardens. He is now standing on top of the man-made mountain, high above the walls of Babylon, high above the dust. Here, the air is different again. It is not just cool, it is moving. A gentle breeze blows from the river, rustling the tops of the palm trees. Swish, swish. It dries the sweat on his forehead. It plays with the hem of his tunic. He walks into the center of the terrace. Here, there is no heavy stone roof, only a light, open pavilion. The pillars are made of cedar wood, brought all the way from the forests of Lebanon. Alexander knows this scent well. It is a warm, resinous smell, spicy and clean. It mixes with the smell of the evening flowers, night-blooming jasmine, and the faint, sweet scent of the date palms. He walks to the western edge of the pavilion. He places his hands on the wooden railing. The wood is smooth, polished with beeswax. He looks out at the horizon. The sun is beginning to set. A giant, red sphere sinking into the endless flatlands of Mesopotamia. The sky is turning colors, from blinding white to gold to a deep, bruised violet, Tyrian purple, he thinks, the color of kings. Below him, the Euphrates River catches the light. It looks like a river of molten copper, flowing slowly, lazily, towards the sea. He sees the great ziggurat, the Tower of Babel, rising in the distance. Its 7 levels are glowing in the sunset, but Alexander is higher even than the tower. He is floating in the sky. He turns away from the view. The world is beautiful, yes, but he is too tired to conquer it tonight. He turns towards his resting place. In the center of the cedar pavilion sits the Kline, the royal daybed. It is a masterpiece of comfort, carved from ivory and dark wood. The legs are shaped like lion paws. He approaches it slowly. Soft step, soft step. The bed is piled high with cushions. They are covered in silk, the most expensive fabric in the world, brought from the Far East, from the lands beyond the Indus, and they are dyed with the royal purple of Tyre. Deep, dark, rich. Alexander sits on the edge of the bed. The mattress is thick, stuffed with the softest wool from the highlands. It sinks under his weight. Sigh. He unlaces his sandals. One by one, he drops them onto the floor. Thud, thud. His feet are bare. He rubs them against the cool wooden floorboards. The connection to the march is broken. He is no longer walking. He is stopping. He swings his legs up onto the bed. He lies back. The silk cushions accept him. They mold to the shape of his shoulders. They support his tired neck. He lets his arms fall to his sides, his palms facing up, open, empty. He is not holding a spear. He is not holding a map. He is not holding a goblet. He is holding nothing. He closes his eyes, and he listens to the water, because he is at the top of the gardens. He is closest to the source. The water pumped up from the river is released here. It cascades down over the edge of the terrace. It creates a waterfall. Roa. But it is not a loud, angry roar. It is a consistent, white noise, a curtain of sound that blocks out everything else. The sound of the waterfall washes over him. It sounds like rain. It sounds like the ocean. It sounds like time passing. It drowns out the voices of his generals. It drowns out the worries of the empire. It drowns out the plans for tomorrow. There is only the water, falling from the sky, down to the earth, just like he is falling now, falling into rest. He feels the breeze moving through the pavilion. It passes over his face, cool and gentle. He imagines the map of the world in his head. He sees Greece is less than #0. 5# is greater than Egypt, Persia, India, and slowly he rolls up the map. He rolls it up tight and puts it away in a chest in his mind. Click. The world can wait. Tonight, his kingdom is just this bed, just this cushion, just this breath. The light in the sky is fading fast now. The violet turns to indigo. The indigo turns to black. The first stars appear, the royal stars of Persia, Antares, Aldebaran. They look down on him, unblinking, silent. They do not care that he is Alexander. To them, he is just a speck of life in the dark, and that thought comforts him. He is small. He is safe. He feels the humidity of the gardens rising up. A soft mist surrounds the pavilion. It kisses his skin, hydrating, soothing. The scent of the cedar wood gets stronger in the damp air. A forest smell, a home smell. His breathing slows down, matching the rhythm of the falling water. In, out. Aya fall. His heavy eyelids flutter and stay closed. The muscles in his jaw relax. The frown on his forehead smooths out. The conqueror is gone. Only the sleeper remains. He sinks deeper into the purple silk. The luxury holds him. The water protects him. The stars watch him. He is safe in Babylon, high above the world, in the hanging garden of dreams, drifting, floating, resting, sleep.